Hello, humans out there on the internet. It's Courtney with Grand Park. I'm really glad you're here today for your Yoga Ala retreat. It's so important to carve out space for ourselves, especially now, but always. And I wanted us to focus today on balancing postures. So, balancing postures are known to help us and force us to be in focus in the moment. They require a lot of our attention. They require presence. And I don't know about all of you, but I have been feeling incredibly scattered, incredibly affected by the news, by information. And I'm noticing that I've kind of lost a little bit of my grounding. So we'll start with some grounding, and then I'm going to offer some balance. And balance can be frustrating, but it's all about feeling whatever is touching earth, touch earth, steadying our gaze. We call it a drishti in yoga, so a focal point, finding our breath, and just meeting every moment with our whole selves, with our whole hearts. So I hope you enjoy this practice today. You don't need anything, but if at the end it would be nice to have a blanket, an extra layer. We always do a little bit of breath and relaxation, guided meditation, something at the end to give ourselves a chance to relax fully. So if you need something for the end to be more comfortable, have it on hand. And let's just start seated. So you could do this part up in a chair if you feel more comfortable in a chair. If you are in a chair, make sure to rest both your feet on the earth so you feel that connection to the earth. If you want to come down and join me on the floor, you're welcome to do that. And then let's ground our palms down on the thighs. Find a little lift of the heart. Settle your shoulders away from your ears. Soften in your jaw. And then go ahead and close your eyes. Feel whatever is touching earth, touch earth. Or whatever is touching chair, touch chair. And see if you can allow yourself to grow up from that stability. So what I mean by that is, can you use whatever is touching the floor to be your anchor so that you can comfortably rise up supported? Come to notice your breath. Come to choose a breath. So something that will help you feel supported today, a slower breath, a more aware breath, a deeper breath, whatever supported breath looks like in your body right now. And then before we get started with moving, flutter your eyes open. We'll take a breathwork exercise together. So we're going to come for humming. So I'm hearing that people like the humming. So humming is a great way to draw us into the moment, to connect us to our breath, and we feel it vibrating in our bodies. And it's really powerful to hum, to sing, to join voices together. You'll be able to hear my voice. So joining our voices together, we'll do 3 hums, and what it will look like is we'll take an inhale through the nose, so collecting air, and then we'll hum the breath out. We'll take a little pause at the end. We'll draw in an inhale, we'll hum again, and we'll do that 3 times together. So it might help to either close your eyes or steady your gaze on the floor. Let your exhale come all the way out of your body. Inhale through your nose. Let it fall out. Draw in an inhale through your nose. Let it go out. Draw in an inhale through your nose. Let it go out. And then if your eyes are open, go ahead and close them. Just feel whatever that offered you. And then flutter your eyes back open. And we're gonna start in a tabletop today. So I don't usually teach this pose, but it's a great way to get us right into balance. So you're gonna come to a seat on the floor. The knees are gonna bend. The feet are just kind of off from the knees. You're gonna take your fingertips behind you, facing your bottom. The hands are about shoulder width. And then spread your fingers wide, press into your knuckles, lift up in your thighs, send your knees forward, and then we're in a tabletop. So hips are reaching up. Let's keep our heads up, looking forward. Reaching and pushing up out of the shoulders. We're balancing on hands and feet here. Find your breath. And then on your exhale, set your hips down. See how that makes us be in the moment? Let's round in our spine. Take your hands around your shins. Let your chin fall into your chest. We're gonna come in for another one. So taking your fingertips to face your bottom behind you, press into your feet, fingers spread wide, press down into your knuckles and your feet, lift up in your hips and your thighs. Pull your belly up and in towards your spine. Look forward. Steady your gaze, lifting up out of your shoulders. Feel the earth underneath you. So what's supporting you? Press up out of it. Good day to the body. Hello, hello moment. All right, set your hips down. Draw your arms around your shins. Curl in your spine. And then let's come forward to hands and knees. So we'll come in for a little bit of balance here. So, balance is going to be the name of the game today. So knees are stacked underneath the hips. Wrists are stacked underneath the shoulders. Let's just come into a couple cat-cows just to get into our spines. Inhale, the belly drops. Raise your heart. Exhale, curl everything up and in. Inhale, belly drops, heart rises. Exhale, curl everything up and in. Inhale, belly drops, heart rises. Exhale, curl everything up and in. Find your neutral spine. Tap your right toes back. Press into your right hand. We're lifting up through the inner right thigh. So option to do that, keeping your left hand down. So lifting up, stamping your right foot on the back wall, scooping your belly into your spine. So we've got two hands and a knee and a shin down to support our right leg. So breathing, keeping our gaze point steady, coming into this moment, meeting it with breath. Option to stay here. If you want to add balance, you could extend your left arm forward with your left thumb up. I'm going to stay with the left hand down, but if you want to challenge yourself today and the balance is feeling okay, left hand forward, left hand up. Keep your left shoulder plugged into your body. On your exhale, release your right knee down, your left hand down if it's up. And then we'll switch to the other side. So taking your left toes to tap back, establishing your balance here, scooping your belly into your spine. Wrists are stacked underneath the shoulders. Excuse me. And then through your inner left thigh, start to lift up, stamping your foot on the back wall, scooping your belly in. If you're feeling good and balanced here, you're welcome to take your right hand, extend it out from your right shoulder with your right thumb up, like you were going to shake someone's hand. Think about getting long instead of getting high. So reaching forward and back as opposed to reaching up. Take one more breath wherever you are. And then releasing knee down, hand down if it's up. Let's tuck the toes here. So we're coming into a foot stretch. You're welcome to stay here if this is a lot of sensation for your feet. If the feet are okay and you're getting used to doing this with me, walk your hands back. Maybe come to sit on your heels. So this, for most of us, is not the most comfortable position. If your feet are in any kind of sharp pain, please come forward and place weight on the hands and just breathe into the feet, soften into the feet. If you're stacking your hips over your toes, we're going to play with a little balance here. So tap your fingers down to the earth. Find a gaze point at eye level or maybe a little lower to steady and focus your gaze. From here, we're going to pop the knees up to balance on the balls of the feet. The fingertips are down, the balls of the feet are down. We're sinking the hips down on the heels. If this is not right for you, come forward, rest your knees down. From here, option to stay here for your balance. So we want to find that place with balance where we can breathe and be steady. There's no need to take anything any farther. If we start to fall out and are forcing anything, we're not really getting anything out of that. So option to stay here and balance for a few more breaths. If you want to play with balance, maybe take your right hand into a half prayer. Maybe take your left hand into a half prayer so you're only balancing on the balls of the feet. If that's not right for you, take one hand or both hands down to the earth. And then release both hands down to the earth. We'll all meet in a forward fold. So extending your legs any amount, bending your knees any amount, let your head go. If your low back is achy today, maybe try taking your feet even wider to give your low back more space. From here, we're going to come into a little bit of balance. So bend your knees as much as you need to place your left fingertips underneath your chin. And we'll take the right arm up. So we're not forcing a twist. We're not keeping our hips out of alignment, so the hips stay pointing forward. We're just adding a little twist, reaching the heart up for the right shoulder. A couple breaths. Bend your knees as much as you need. Please, please support yourself. Right hand comes down underneath your chin, hips stay pointing forward. Reach your left arm up to the sky. Open your heart any amount to the left. Steady your gaze on a point. Left hand comes down, release your head, and then start to roll yourself up, finding your way to mountain pose. So let's ground again for a breath or two. So feel your feet underneath your hips, hips underneath your shoulders. Hands come out to the side. Shoulders are down the back, gazing at a point. Feeling all parts of the feet touching down. And then let's take our hands to our hips. We're just going to do some little marches. So pressing down into your left foot, rise your right knee, and then set your right foot down, pressing into your right foot, lift your left knee, and keep a gaze in front of you. So keep moving on your own. First, establish grounding down into your standing leg, and from that root, that stability, we rise the opposite leg up. So take a couple more marches. And then find your way back to your mountain pose. Rise your arms tall on your inhale. Exhale, fold the body in half. Inhale, halfway lift, heart reaches forward. Exhale, melt your heart, release your head. Inhale, draw your arms tall. Exhale, hands come to heart. One more round like that. Inhale, reach your arms tall. Exhale, fold the body in half. Inhale, halfway lift, heart reaches forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, draw your arms tall. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, rise your arms tall. Exhale, melt your heart. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, melt your heart. This time we're going to walk ourselves forward to a plank. So this is a balanced pose. So the wrists are stacked underneath the shoulders. We're balancing on the hands, on the balls of the feet. You can also add your knees down to help balance. So supporting yourself, keeping your head in line with your spine. Focus your gaze between your hands. Soften your jaw. And then exhale, hips come up and back, downward facing dog. We're going to take a short dog. So walk your hands back like 2 handprints. So you're in a little tiny baby downward facing dog. You can bend your knees as much as you need. Press the weight into the left knuckle. Right arm gets light, reaching your right hand for your outer left calf or your thigh, whatever you can reach. You could also do this with the knees down on the earth, reaching back for your hip. Place your right hand down. Let that right knuckles get to be the root and the stability. Left hand gets light. Reach your left hand for your outer right thigh. Sorry. You could also tap your knees down and reach for your right hip. Left hand replaces. Walk yourself back out to a longer downward facing dog. And then step your right foot for your right hand. Spin your back foot flat. We'll press down to find our way up to warrior one. Let's interlace the hands behind the back. Puff up your chest. Take your interlace down towards your left heel. You could also grab opposite elbows. And then balancing, folding, letting the head go, arms come up and overhead. Right hip is reaching back. So this is a really strong pose. Don't beat yourself up about it. We're just trying, we're breathing, we're steadying the gaze, we're finding breath, we're meeting challenge with breath, with intention and awareness. That is the most beautiful thing we can do, is to try. On your inhale, press into your feet, rise yourself up, warrior one. Hands come down to the earth, right foot steps back, downward facing dog. Left foot steps for the left hand, back foot spins flat, find your way up, warrior one. Outer edge of your back foot is taking weight, thigh is sinking down, shoulders are stacking over your hips. Establish your gaze point here. And then find an interlace, maybe putting the opposite thumb on top. So the awkward grasp. Send your interlace down towards your right heel, puff up your chest. You can grab outer elbows if that is more accessible to you. And then fold your heart inside your left leg, release your head. How's your breath? How's your focus? Inhale, back up, warrior one. Hands release up and overhead. Let's take the fingertips down. We're going to step the right foot up to meet the left. So we're in a forward fold. We'll pause here. Feel your feet underneath you, maybe grabbing opposite elbows, maybe letting your fingertips dangle. Definitely letting your head release. And then pressing into your feet, start to roll yourself up to a stand. Mountain pose, let's check in. Maybe closing your eyes, feeling your feet underneath you. Open your eyes, hands to hips. We're going to come in and out of balance on the balls of the feet to the heels. So Really important to find your gaze point. You can come to a wall. So a wall can be a really helpful thing for balance because it gives us one more thing to help us be steady and stable. So gazing, finding your drishti, your focal point, find your breath. We're going to move from breath, which helps us be more steady and stable. So on your next inhale, press down into the balls of your feet, rise your heels like you have a really high, uncomfortable shoe on. You can take your left hand to the wall or your right hand, and then exhale, the heels come down, the toes rise up. So balancing on the heels. Few more rounds. Inhale, press into the balls of the feet, rise your heels, keep your gaze steady. Exhale, the heels come down, the toes rise up. How's your breath? 2 more times. Inhale, balls of the feet, press down, heels rise. Exhale, heels come down, toes lift. 1 more time, connecting breath with movement. Inhale, press into the balls of the feet, rise your heels. Exhale, heels come down, toes rise up. And then settle all parts of your feet down on the earth. From here, we're going to take the heels and the feet together. If you have low back stuff, you might keep your feet wide. And we'll sink down into chair pose. So we're coming into balance in this pose. A wall might be your friend here. Hands come to your hips. Inhale to the balls of the feet. Lift your heels. Exhale, heels come down, toes rise. Just 2 more. Inhale into the balls of the feet. Rise your heels. Exhale, heels come down, toes rise. If you're looking everywhere, you're probably going to fall. Steady your gaze. Inhale, press into the balls of the feet, rise your heels. Exhale, the heels come down, rise your toes. 1 more breath in chair. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, press up to stand. Really nice. That was very challenging. So letting it lie in the past. So whatever happened, happened. We're going to come in for tree pose. If you're noticing that maybe balance is a challenge today, it can very much depend on how we're feeling in our bodies, in our lives, in our emotions. So if balance is off today, I'm noticing my balance is off today, I'm going to come to a wall for tree pose. So we can always find support when we need it. So it's not about forcing anything. It's about meeting ourselves where we are. So if you're using a wall, we're going to start on our left leg. So placing your hand to a left wall, your left hand to a wall, or you can just keep your hands on your hips. From here, we're going to ground down into our left standing leg. So the left thigh is reaching back. The left foot is reaching down. The right foot comes in like a kickstand at the left ankle. The right knee is tracking out from the hip. And then we're going to find whatever our version of tree pose is today. So steadying your gaze point, establishing full breaths coming in and out of your nose. You are welcome to take your foot to the calf, to the inner thigh. You're welcome to come to the wall. You're welcome to extend your arms up. So if you have your foot on the leg, just don't put it on the knee. So either above or below the knee. Leg is pressing into foot as much as foot is pressing into leg. Maybe you turn up the corners of your mouth for a little smile. For whatever your body is or isn't able to do today. So being with your beautiful self as you are. Take 1 more breath wherever you are and whatever expression of tree is yours today. And then as you exhale, release. We'll take the right hand to the wall. Left hand might come to the hip. You also don't have to use the wall. So grounding down into your right standing leg, right thigh is pressing back. From that, the left foot comes like a kickstand at the right ankle. The left knee is tracking out. Establish your gaze point. Establish your breath. Everything in this moment. So focusing your attention on a single point. And then deciding what your tree, what your expression looks like today. So maybe foot in the inner thigh, maybe foot on the calf, just not on the knee. Maybe foot stays at the ankle. Maybe you find an expression with your hands. Maybe the arms extend up and overhead. Maybe you take your hands in a prayer at your heart. Keep pressing down into your standing right leg. Take one more breath wherever you are. And then as you exhale, release. Finding your mountain pose. Establishing the feet underneath the hips, underneath the shoulders. Let's press down into our feet, rise our arms up. We're going to come into a side body stretch. A little bit of balance here. Grab your right wrist with your left hand. Press down into your right foot and then reach up and over to the left. So this might not look like a balancing pose, but our body weight is a little bit distributed unevenly. So can you ground down into what is touching earth, especially that right foot? Can you find space across your right side body? Inhale yourself back to center, and then grab your left wrist with your right hand, ground down into your feet, especially the left foot. And from the stability of the left foot, reach up and over to the right. Breathing, 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 steadying gaze. Inhale back to center, and then allow your hands to come down. And then we're just gonna shake it out. So shaking out the hands and the arms. So just letting go of whatever happened in our balance practice today. So we're gonna come down for legs up the wall and some relaxing stuff, but just kind of shaking out in the chest and the hips. Maybe shaking out one foot, shaking out the other foot. Maybe doing a little shimmy, little power pad, if anyone had a Nintendo. And then steadying your feet down on the earth. Really great work today. So we're gonna come to ground just so that we don't leave frustrated. So we'll come to our legs up the wall pose. For those of you who practice with me a lot, you're welcome to go ahead and get into it if you know how to do it. For those of you who are new or newer, welcome, and I'll tell you how to get into the pose. So legs up the wall is a really beautiful restorative pose, and it takes a little bit of setup, and it's worth the setup. It's worth taking the time to set up so that we don't have to kind of scrunch ourselves in to try to compensate for not setting it up. So you're just gonna take yourself to some kind of a free wall space. So this is a door. Doors work great, a closet door, not a door someone's gonna come in. If you don't have a lot of free wall space in your living space, you could take your legs up a cabinet. You could take your legs up the back of a bed, the side of a couch, a cabinet, a refrigerator if there's not a bunch of stuff on the front of it. And we're just gonna set it up so that we're tucked in really close. So the hip is touching, the shoulder is touching. This part is important so that we can set it up to be as close to the wall as possible. From here, you'll slide your hips forward. You'll keep your hips tucked into the wall, and then you'll come down to your elbows with your shoulder and your hip flush against the wall. From here, you'll do a fancy kick up of your legs, sliding your bottom against the back of whatever you're putting your legs up. And if you realize that your bottom isn't flush with the wall, then come on down, tuck your shoulder and your hip again, and then try again so that you don't have to like come from here and hurt your low back trying to squeeze yourself in. So here we are. Knees can be bent any amount. You'll probably start to experience some tingles in your legs. That's actually the blood recycling in your entire system. It's a very healthy, calming thing for your nervous system. If at any point it feels really weird or really intense, you can bend your knees and rest the soles of your feet against the wall and then rejoin us when you feel ready to again. Positioning of the arms might be taking your arms wide to the side. It might be resting your hands on your body somewhere. Whatever you choose, choose something that helps you feel connected to your body in this pose. I'm also going to recommend that we close our eyes to give our eyes a rest from the screen. I'm going to be quiet for 3 minutes to give us space in this shape. So in restorative poses, we hold them a little longer to receive the soft benefits of them. Again, if any point it's too much in the legs, bend your knees, place the soles of your feet on the wall. And try to give your mind a single focus here, so that will keep you engaged. So I'm going to give you 3 options. Option 1 is to focus on your breath. So just like we do in meditation, pointing the mind on witnessing the breath to stay present and engaged. Option 2 would be to tune into the sensations of the body. So just getting really curious and noticing what's happening in the body, what it feels like to be in this pose. Option 3 would be to focus on the sounds around you. So that is a way to stay present, is to just maybe notice a ticking clock or someone talking in the other room or whatever it is. To try to stay engaged and present in this moment together. So I'll be quiet for a few minutes and I'll call us back at the end. So a reminder, if you've drifted off, to give your mind that point of focus. And we'll be here for about another 1.5 minutes. So we're going to slowly start to get out of this pose, starting to slide your heels down the wall, bending your knees, resting the soles of the feet. And then eventually rolling over to one side, making a little pillow with your inner arm, resting in what is called a side child's pose. Using your free hand to press yourself up. And then let's find our way onto our mats. We'll come in for one twisting sequence and then a happy baby, and then we'll take some rest. So hug your knees into your chest. Arms come either wide like a T or in cactus arms, which would be elbows bent out from the shoulders to the sides and palms and hands above your elbows. And then the knees come up and over to the right, just allowing the body to be in a twist. So maybe closing the eyes, allowing gravity to do the work here. Allowing your breath to deepen in a twist. Hugging your knees back to center, reaching your knees up and over to the left. So letting yourself take up space, letting yourself ground down, and letting your breath fill in. Hugging your knees to center, and then we'll find our way to happy baby. So if you can keep your low back on the mat, grab the outsides of the feet and kick the feet up with the low back staying on the earth. Great. If not, great. There's always an option for everyone to find the pose in their body. So you could keep your low back on the earth and just grab onto the backs of your thighs and hug your thighs in. If you have the feet, think about kicking the feet up as you're pulling the feet down towards the shoulders. And we'll just take a couple last full breaths here in our last active pose. Watch yourself take one final inhale and exhale. And then releasing out of the shape, finding a comfortable position on your back. So it might feel the most comfortable if you have low back issues or discomfort to bend your knees and rest the soles of the feet underneath your knees. Or you can lay flat on your back here. So I'm going to talk us through just a couple last things before we take rest. So we're going to come into 3 inhale exhales together. So we're going to do our 3 count inhale where we pause at different parts of the body, long exhale through the mouth. So go ahead, let your exhale leave your body. Through your nose, inhale to your belly. Inhale to your heart. Inhale to the top of your head. From your mouth, sigh the breath out. Inhale the breath into your belly. Inhale to your heart. Inhale to the top of your head. Let your exhale move out of your body through the mouth. Last one, through your nose, inhale to your belly. Inhale to heart. Inhale to top of head. from your mouth, sigh and release your breath out. And then just allowing your inhales and exhales to come back naturally. From here, we'll take 1 minute in Shavasana, final rest. So just allowing yourself the space of a minute to receive the benefits of the practice, to let your body ground down to the floor. So starting to bring back in your breath. Starting to find some small movements with your fingers and your toes. Eventually rolling over to one side, making a little pillow for your head with your inner arm. And then pressing down into your free hand to lift yourself up, grounding your palms down on your thighs, settling your hips down into the floor, rising your heart up from the root of your seat. Drawing your hands in a gesture at your heart, bowing your chin into the wisdom of your heart. The light in me sees and acknowledges the light in all of you. Thank you so much for practice. I hope you feel more present, more focused. I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day. Use this focus well, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.